Vanessa. This is it. Take one last look around.
Yeah, we'll be graduating this week, and we may never be back.
Well, let's look around just this one last time and see what we can find.
Sure. Oh, look at that. That brings back bad memories, the attendance center.
Remember when you were late every morning for radio and TV?
Yeah, I remember that. Well, here's Todd Apogeno to jog our memories.
Yeah, I've been reading the Yeah, I've been reading all the dick, because every time they like made a play, they'd always go to this side, and I wasn't getting any action on this, so I had time.
I'm at school.
They kept going up there and going over.
Well, you forgot to call in yesterday when I was gone.
Bam.
We'll call in. All right, bye. This is Todd Everjona for KSME News. Permission from your parents is one of the many factors that goes into getting an excused absence from the attendance center.
You guys been absent 3 days in a row. Where's your admit to class? Without a right admit, you know that you've got an unexcused. No makeup privilege. And you're seniors. Too many days and you don't graduate.
Well, Ann, maybe I was late the first hour, but you were always late the 6th hour after lunch.
I always did have the hardest time getting back here on time.
Yeah, our sophomore year, we ended up eating lunch here almost every single day.
In our junior year, we went out every day, but it just got too expensive.
Yeah, so this year we sat in here most of the time.
Remember all those Jell-O flipping contests?
Oh, those were fun, but it's lucky the teachers never saw us.
Here's Allison Hurst with more on lunch opportunities.
A large number of Easters eat in our cafeteria every day, where they can get a wide variety of food. They can choose from an entire school lunch to a la carte and junk food.
Why do you eat 6 lunch at school? I think it's a lot cheaper here, and also I don't feel there's enough time for us to go out to lunch, or you can be late to class.
have a car. We don't have a car. I mean, there's nothing to do. We can't get out of school. I mean, I know a lot of people have cars, but they have other lunch instead of lunch.
When students choose to go out to lunch, they have quite a variety of fast food restaurants in our area to choose from.
So as you can see, East students have quite a choice when it comes to lunch. This has been Allison Hurst reporting for KSME News.
You know, I'd much rather stay here than go outside and fight people in that parking lot. It's so crowded all the time, especially now during lunch.
Yeah, it always was such a mess out there.
Especially when people park behind you, trying to get out in the parking spot. It's too much of a hassle.
Yeah, now that library construction started, it's just a mess. I would not want to go out there anymore. Here's Jarrett Steele with more on the parking lot.
Now he's getting the bell. Somebody call into it.
2:40. For many, the best time of the day. Students pack up books, homework, and other belongings and head home. With the end of school comes one last adventure, though. The East parking lot. After 7th hour, Lancers rush to leave the building after spending a long day at school. Nearly 2,000 students file out at school's end to the last part of Shawnee Mission East they will see, the main lot. To park in the lot, each car needs a blue parking sticker purchased at the beginning of the year. Several hundred stickers were distributed, and many Lancers choose to drive to school themselves. With so many cars parking in the lot, some latecomers choose to occupy some odd parking spots, not usually set aside for automobiles. The staff at East parks in a zone closest to the school, as they arrive earlier than most of their students. Thus, it's no surprise they react adversely when someone else occupies their reserved spot. However, most Lancers comply with the parking lot and its rules and are quick to leave at the end of the day. This is the final approach in the journey home. Let's go talk to some Lancers about their opinions on the parking lot.
The parking lot situation really hasn't been that bad this year. It's gotten progressively worse ever since they started building the new library. And that combined with the everlastingly nagging problem of sophomores and freshmen parking up here in this lot where they're really not supposed to be. That's I guess the biggest problem. Usually when I get here on time, I don't have that much of a problem finding a space. It's when I get here between 7:35 and 7:40 that I have to park down on Delmar.
Well, to tell you the truth, it seems like lately it has just been packed, and I find it very difficult to find a place in the morning when I come. I usually arrive about 7:25, and I'm forced to park here in the back row. I find it very discouraging. A lot of people have been parking along the sides now, and they haven't been ticketing, so people have been doing that. But I think it's due to a lot of sophomores parking in the lot.
The really frustrating thing about parking in the parking lot is like getting to school late. About 7:35, sometimes you can't find a parking spot in the parking lot, and you have to park on Delmar and the sophomore parking lot. That's really frustrating. After school, sometimes you get out here, and there's a line up there by the exit. It takes you 5-10 minutes to get out of here. That's quite frustrating also.
After school hours and in the evening, this lot is a quiet, empty place. But for 5 days a week during the school year, It is filled with activity and cars, the one place Lancers will see before they go home. Jarrett Steele, KSME News.
Now the parking lot's empty. I wonder if it'll ever be this empty again next year in college.
I doubt it.
How are you going to get to school next year?
Well, I'll probably ride up with friends, but once I get there, walk or ride the bus.
Yeah, it probably won't be too much fun to do it that way.
I don't think that the parking lots at college will ever be as empty as these are right now. Here's more from Ben Warner on college recommendations.
And I had a chance to ask him some of the questions about the college admissions process. What do you think is the most difficult step in gaining admission to a selected college?
I think that one of the real chores that students have is in developing a list of potential colleges that will satisfy a variety of requirements, and to choose that list in such a way that there is a realistic hope of getting into at least part of those schools. Now, I really see that as a critical first step, at least, in developing a list, maybe a fairly lengthy list, 8, 10, 12 schools or more, that are at least in some ways appealing to an individual student. Then to narrow that down to choose the ones where applications will actually be submitted and limit those to ones where, at least in part, there's a good chance of being accepted.
Do you deal with many seniors who become overstressed while waiting to hear a decision from a college?
Well, there's no question about it that this time of year leading up to April 15 is a very challenging time for students as they wait word from the colleges where they've filed an application. If the students have done an appropriate job of choosing the colleges where they wish to apply, that stress can be substantially minimized. What we really find is that a second part of the stress comes when students are accepted at several or all of the colleges where they've applied, and then the challenge is to choose in a relatively short period of time which one of those they will actually choose to attend.
Few students are rejected from all of their choices, so that there is at least one positive alternative that is always available.
Here at the Prairie Village Post Office, they are receiving many letters daily of either acceptance or rejection from many East students from colleges across the country.
Although some colleges wait until January before they begin to review students' applications, many universities have rolling admissions, meaning that their application is reviewed by the university as soon as it arrives. Thus, completing the application and mailing it as soon as possible is crucial. For the more selective schools, an early postmark may mean the difference between getting into a top choice school or settling for one's third or fourth choice. Another edge a student can gain is to have a teacher write a good recommendation. And as the recommendation goes into the mail, a student's future may go with it.
Judy Barnes, senior honors English teacher here at East, annually must deal with dozens of college recommendations. Approximately how many college recs do you write a year?
About 100, I would say. Sometimes more, depending on how many students are enrolled in AP.
And what goes into writing each rec?
Writing recs, I think, is tricky because you have to consider the school to which the recommendation is going. I mean, what is that school looking for in a student particularly? For example, a rec that was going to MIT, which is very tech, high tech, might be a little different than a rec that's going to Carleton, which is a much more liberal arts type of school. You have to deal with the student in terms of what are the student's individual interests and talents. I have to be careful to make sure that I know the student well enough, and if I don't know the student well enough, to interview that student so that I can put personal items in the rec. I think specific details are really important in a college rec. Admissions officers get hundreds and hundreds of recs. Now, what is to make my rec look any different from anyone else's? What is to make that admissions officer stop and read this one? And I think the answer to that is a little personal detail, a story. For example, if a student is an excellent writer, I will not only mention that, but I might say, Ben's been in after school every day writing and rewriting, done a lot of extra work and revision and so on, so that they see that it isn't just what I've said. I have an example that follows that up. I think it's important to know as much about the student as possible so that the admissions officer gets the feeling that this is not some copy that we're running off the computer and we're just filling in names and spaces, that this is indeed a personal letter from me about you.
Do they get to know you, do you find, over the years?
Yes. You'll find that schools will, for example, send you new catalogs and updates on things, and I frequently get letters from schools where I've had students admitted saying, thank you for your latest admission, and you might be interested to know that we've got a new program in this or that. Particularly this is true if it's a school that has a program that's similar to mine, if it has a good, strong liberal arts program, lots of drama or literature background. This is because they want students to come frequently to private schools, small liberal arts schools, so they do a lot of PR.
Do you write a certain style of recommendation depending on the difficulty of the school?
I don't think so much it's the difficulty of the school itself. In other words, a rec for Amherst wouldn't be something I would spend a lot more time on than a rec for, say, a smaller school that I knew the student would be admitted to. But I think the tone might be different. If I think I know what the school is looking for, I might emphasize different things. For example, I just wrote recs for one student who was applying to MIT as well as to some other liberal arts schools. Now, the MIT rec, I emphasized just a little different approach, more on math and science, more an analytical background. If I thought a school, say, Brown is an interesting example because it's a school with a lot of avant-garde curriculum and so on. So then I emphasize this student can work independently, he's very individualistic, he's quite unique. But in terms of the quality of the rec, I think it's extremely important that the rec is of high quality no matter what school.
As one can see, there is much that goes into the college admissions process. This has been Ben Warner reporting for KSME.
Look, here is the prom class. Wow, that really does bring back a lot of memories.
Yeah, it sure does. Junior and senior year.
Yeah, I hope they last a long time. Here's Kelly Watson with some more prom memories. It's that time again. It's May, time for prom, which is held annually in the Shawnee Mission East Gym. Let's go take a look at how things are being set up.
Come on, Dorothy. Don't you carry nothing that might be alone. Come on. Get the There it is. Come on now. Get on down the road. Come on. Get on down the road. Don't you carry nothing that might be alone. Come on. Get on down the road. Come on. Get on down the road. Come on. Get on down the road. Don't you carry nothing
So the Wizard of Oz is now history. One more memory. This is Kelly Walston for KSME TV News.
Yeah, the old radio station. That brings back a lot of memories from our sophomore year. It's a good thing we have the cameras, though, to record all of these happenings.
Yeah, radio TV has been a lot of fun. Over 2 years in that class.
It's a lot of time.
Yeah, a lot of work.
Maybe someday someone will rejuvenate the radio station.
Yeah. Then the radio TV class can use it as well.
Here's Matt Danda with an in-depth look on the radio TV class.
Hi, I'm Matt Danda. I'm the student producer of the show, and I bet you're wondering how these things come into existence. Well, there's a class at East. It's called Radio and TV Production. It's where students get together and make these shows that you're seeing right now. Now, this class, it takes place in the auditorium because East is a little overcrowded, and an ordinary class probably wouldn't be able to function here, but this isn't an ordinary class. Let's take a look. The class produces a news show every 5 weeks. Allison Hurst talks about the importance of pre-planning.
A lot more to this class than just shooting footage. You have to do a lot of paperwork. You have to do storyboards before you go out and shoot. Put locations down you think you might shoot, and then after you shoot, you have to go back and do logs, which is where you put what you've shot down in order and the order you'd like to have it edited. There's just a lot of paperwork to this class.
Stephanie Leonard describes filming requirements.
When you film footage for a story, first of all, we had to ask whoever we're going to interview to see if they could have a time and a place where we could interview them. And you basically go over what you're going to ask them and what you're going to shoot and stuff so that they know ahead of time and that it runs smoothly. And then you just basically just shoot whatever you have to do, and you first of all you practice on pause, and then you push play, and then you just roll it, and then you're done.
Once the story is taped, the team, in this case Paul and Stephanie, show their footage to the class and it is evaluated. Paul, a freshman, discusses his progress this semester.
As the stories have gone along, it seems I have got a little bit better on my camera work and my radio and TV abilities.
I asked Todd Abergiano if the class was fun.
Well, it's fun in a sense. It's a lot of work, but the work that you do, it is fun when you see the finished product and what you've produced. It brings a sense of fulfillment to what you've done, and it is fun.
Although there is no textbook in the class, there are days when students must read and take notes on various articles. David Dalton explains the equipment problems.
Well, it was a lot more difficult to get everything done than I expected because we're kind of short on equipment, and what we have to use is spread out between so many people that we only have 2 or 3 days to get footage for an entire story, and which consists of most of our grade in this class. And so basically we're just real short on equipment, and it's rather out of date, but that's the problem when you're dealing with old equipment.
Filming in the studio can be difficult, as Ben Warner explains.
Well, I think being an anchor is, it's definitely interesting. You get the hands-on experience. It's not as easy as it looks. You know, you're sitting there, you go through a lot of takes. It's not just in a half an hour like, you know, on the other news shows. Another thing that people don't consider is it's hot under the lights. There's big bright lights staring at you the whole time, and it's not as easy as it looks, but it's a lot of fun, and I enjoy the experience.
And Jarrett Steele shares his feelings about the class.
Well, with radio and TV class, I joined it, and I really wasn't sure what I was in for. I thought it'd be very easy, yet I found out it was a lot harder than I expected. Yet I really enjoyed being able to go out and shoot footage of things going on around school and just being on camera and everything. And it's been a lot of fun. It's been work, but you get used to it, and it's a worthwhile class.
Well, that's how it all comes together. This is your student producer, Matt Danda, saying goodbye.
Look at all these old tapes that we found. It's hard to believe we put so much time and work into all this stuff.
Yeah, a lot of stories, a lot of memories. Here's some more memories.
3 years worth. Many changes have occurred in the 3 years. When we got here, we had the smoking lounge, and now it's been transformed into the naturalist area. And the old library next year will be changed into classrooms, and we'll have a new library.
We had so many memories in radio, television productions. All those stories we will never forget, and all that music.
Fly for their forever band. The answer, my friend, is blowing in the wind. The answer is blowing in the wind.
Now we're almost out of here. All the seniors before us were asked what their high school memories were and their future plans. Now it's our turn.
Everything's behind us. All we have are our memories.
But we'll remember those forever.
We sure will.
Thank you for watching our 6th broadcast. And tune in during the next 2 weeks for a special show which combines all the Shawnee Mission schools.
Go.
And here's all the people that have made this show possible.
I ran through the attic. I bumped into my old girl, Sally, from the valley. This is a girl plays hard to get. So I said, what's wrong? Because she looked upset. Now what was I to do? She's crying over me and she was feeling blue. I said, don't cry, dry your eye. Here comes your mother with those 2 little guys. A mean mama stepped up, said to me, hi. Looked Sally in the face and decked her in the hi. Punch her in the belly and step on her feet. Slammed the child on the hard concrete. The witch was strong, the kids was gone. Something was wrong. I said, what is going on? I tried to break it up. I said, stop it, it's the lever. She said, if I can have you, she can't eat.